drinks. Good morning, friends. I am here on the screened-in porch, just having my morning cup of coffee, really brainstorming and planning my day. Today is an exciting day. I have come up with this fantastic idea for a patio garden for this spring and summer. Last year we did a garden and it was a bit of a fail. We actually planted it in the area of a walnut tree, and walnut trees make the ground very acidic and really make it so that nothing grows correctly. So we got everything in the ground last year and nothing really produced, which was super disappointing, and means that if we were to do another in-ground garden, we would need to relocate the garden completely, and I just didn't have the motivation to do that this year. So I decided to do a patio garden, and I've been dreaming this up for weeks now. I've ordered a few things to help me accomplish this. We're going to also go to the greenhouse today, and we're going to make the patio of my dreams. I'm so excited, and I have a lot of little tips and tricks to share with you along the way. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera around and show you all the space that we'll be working with. Okay, so up in here is the screened-in porch I was just sitting in, and then this end of the patio or deck is where I want to focus putting my patio garden. There's a seating area right behind me. We'll get to that in just a minute. I found these fantastic planters on Amazon, and I have 6 of them, and they have a trellis, as you can see, so we're gonna be able to grow things like cucumbers and pole string beans up these. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna put those together, and then these planters are actually from my garden. I had about 6 of them in the different corners and sides of my garden, and so I'm going to be repurposing them. I think I'm gonna be putting my tomato plants in those, so we'll kind of see how this all comes together. But first I want to get these put together so I can see this layout. These planters were so simple to put together. They just came with screws for each corner of the planter box, and then the bottom piece of the planter box just simply sets into the planter, as you'll see here in a moment. You could easily put these together with a little screwdriver, but since my husband had a screw gun handy, I just grabbed that and used that to put them together, and I was able to assemble all 6 of them in a very short amount of time. And these are not huge, just remember they're 24 inches or roughly that across, and so you're gonna probably get about 2 vegetable plants per box. Now if you were gonna do flowers, you of course could do a lot more than that, but with vegetable plants, they just need that dirt and space to be able to produce their fruits. And the other little bonus I love about these planter boxes is they have wheels on them, so as the sun is a little bit shifting, I can move these around on the patio, and I'm able to place them where they're going to get the most sun. I grabbed the air blower, or I'm not exactly sure the correct term for this thing, but I just blew off the patio area where I was going to be placing all of the planters. And I really like this layout. I think that we are going to get the most out of our little patio garden by using up this kind of awkward space between the seating area and our screened-in porch. It's a bit of a walkway, so it's just going to make our walkway area so beautiful once the plants have grown up and things are vining and climbing all over the little trellises. I feel like I'm making really good headway over here now that I have these all put together. But before we continue on this side of the deck, I'm going to turn my attention to the seating area over here to put something else together. A big thank you to Homery for sponsoring today's video. I got this beautiful outdoor sofa from Homery, and I've gotten quite a bit of outdoor furniture for this house that we live in. And you guys, this is one of the absolute best built pieces of outdoor furniture I have ever had. It was packaged super well, and I was able to pull it out pretty much assembled, besides putting the legs on the bottom. So it just had a few screws where I could attach them on the bottom, and I was able to put it together very quickly. The back texture of the woven sides and back are just absolutely gorgeous, and I know that they are going to be very weather resistant because of the materials that it's made out of. Homery uses eco-friendly solid wood. They are committed to sustainability, and they have a great choice in materials. Their furniture is crafted from teak, and it stands out for its exceptional hardness and remarkable resistance to water and mold, which of course is a huge selling point for me, just because this is going to be exposed to the weather here in the central Pennsylvania area. We get a lot of rain in the spring, and so I wanted to have a good quality product to sit out on our deck. It also has rust-resistant aluminum alloy that has incredible durability, and it's a premium grade material along with stainless steel. So all of this is going to be very durable for being out in the weather. These materials are not only visually appealing, but they are also resistant to rust, which is a great plus. The cushions have a durable fabric upholstery that are designed to withstand the elements. The fabric adorning this outdoor sofa boasts an impressive color fastness rating of up to 3. So you're going to have a good vibrant color without things being faded whenever they are exposed to sunlight. It also offers a robust protection against rain, mold, and scratches. And with having a family and a pet around, these things are super important to me. I am so excited with the spacious size of this sofa. I know that it's going to be a great napping spot on lazy afternoons, along with a fantastic area to host people and to be able to have everyone have a wonderful seat. When it comes to aesthetics, this fits my style so well. These great neutral colors, and they just pop with all of my green plants around on my patio. I just think it's absolutely beautiful and brings such an amazing centerpiece to our seating area. So if you are looking for some great outdoor seating, check out Homery in the description box below. You'll find the link and the discount code there. Hey friends, so it's actually been a couple of days right after I put the planter boxes and the furniture and stuff together. We had a couple of really rainy days, and so I wasn't able to get my stuff at the greenhouse, which is where I'm sitting right now. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you some of the things I'm gonna be picking up to create some beautiful planters, and obviously picking up our vegetable plants as well. I stopped and got myself a nice little treat of a coffee on my way here, and we're gonna head on in. I think it's gonna take me a couple of loads to bring out to my trunk to get everything we need to fill all those planters. Show me. Oh my goodness.
What is this? What that is? Look at the little slide. Oh my word, you should get that. That's so cute.
All right, so we're gonna pick up some cilantro,
Whoa.
some dill. Yep, go ahead and get this parsley.
And I love the smell of the basil.
Yes, it smells so good. Which one is it?
Pineapple.
The pineapple mint. Yep, we're gonna get one of those.
Oh, these scents, yeah, they smell really good.
Yes, and they're great in drinks. There are so many different types of mint. Here's a chocolate mint. This is actually a strawberry mint. And then down here, we've got a berries and cream mint. I think I'm gonna give this one a try. The leaves are so pretty. All right, so we're back home and I decided that I'm going to plant all of the flowers and planters before I do the garden boxes or garden planters. So I wanted to show you all a little trick of the trade. A lot of seasoned gardeners and people that enjoy flowers know this little trick, but I'm going to share it with you so that you know how to create a planter in a really easy way. And that is the spiller, thriller, filler method. So what you want to take is something that is a spiller, so something that's going to look like it's spilling out over the side of your pot. There are so many varieties of plants that do this. And then we're going to also have a filler, which is going to be this guy. And I'm cheating just a little bit because technically this is also a spiller. It's going to vine out over the side as well. But you could do like more of a small bushy type plant. I have some others that I'll be using in some of my other planters and you'll be able to see that. And then this is the thriller. So the one that is all nice and tall and spiky and just gives an extra dimension when you're looking at the planters. So we are getting ready to do this. The girls are kind of getting their things together. They're so excited to help me plant all of our little pots and planters. They even got on their little aprons to help me out. So let's get started. This is such a fun and exciting time of year. I feel like we're always just watching in absolute awe at God's creation and how everything is changing. The color green is absolutely popping everywhere around our home where we live. We live in a very kind of secluded neck of the woods, if I am giving it in some Pennsylvania terms, but we live in a lot of farmland. And so seeing the farmers planting their crops and watching little sprouts shooting up, it's just so fun and such an encouraging and hopeful time of year. So as I am showing the girls here how to create these planters, one thing that I'm reminding them of is when you take a plant out of a pot from the greenhouse, you want to take your fingers and kind of break up the bottom of them so that the roots sort of spread out into the planter and doesn't continue to lock together in that pot shape that the plant was in. So I'm giving them a lot of instructions behind the camera here in these next little clips. So you're going to see them kind of putting a lot of this together, but with me telling them what they should be doing. And they were so thrilled with how these planters turned out. And these two that we're doing here are going to be right next to the steps that go up to the deck or patio. And so these are the ones that everyone's going to see first when they walk into our home. This is the main entrance we use to our home. So just having a pop of color with these flowers here is going to be so beautiful. And then I'm mimicking the same color kind of layout with the hanging baskets that we'll be putting together here in a moment. I think the girls' favorite part about planting things is getting to use the hose to water everything whenever we're finished. So I have these cone-shaped planters, and I think I talked about it last year whenever I was hanging them up. I do think this will be the last year for them. I think I mentioned that later. They just have kind of seen better days, and I'm going to go ahead and use them yet this year and then probably dispose of them in the fall. But since they are the cone shape, they're a little hard to work with. So I found that it's easier to just set them into a 5-gallon bucket, and then we are able to put soil in and do all of our planting, and then we can hang them up. And I also encouraged my older daughters, the older two, to kind of give instructions to our youngest. I just am such a believer in having children reteach things that they learn. It just makes that item or that lesson that they're learning, it makes it stick so much better if they can reteach it to someone else. So that's what I had my older two do, is kind of reteach what I had taught them with the planters, with these hanging baskets, with their little sister here. So now we're going to go ahead and fill up the planters with the trellises that we're going to be putting our vegetables in. I just picked up some organic potting soil. It was meant for like raised boxes. So it will drain, I think, a little bit better. I think it will hold up a bit better, but the fact that it's organic and doesn't have a bunch of additives in it whenever we're growing vegetables is pretty important to me. So I let the girls kind of each have a box or half a box or two to put the plants into. And I did go ahead and purchase pretty mature plants just because this was more of a learning lesson for them. And I didn't want us to plant some really small sprouts and then be disappointed that they didn't continue to grow. I wanted plants that were well on their way, just so that we can enjoy seeing them grow up these trellises and that they'll thrive and do really well. I went ahead and planted the tomatoes into these large pots. I had some herbs in them around our garden last year, and they were one of the only things that really thrived in the garden because they were not in the soil where the walnut tree was. And so I pulled a lot of those herbs out, and we're just going to use them to plant our tomatoes in. Now, they don't have wheels on them, but I did order some small wheelie carts to put them on top of. I'll probably be sharing that in a video sometime soon, and then I can show you what I mean. But I just want to be able to move all of this around, particularly these tomato plants, because they could get into the shade of the house a little bit, and tomato plants really need a lot of sunlight. So being able to wheel them closer to the edge of the deck, I think will be really helpful. And I just thought that putting them on carts would make that possible. So the other thing I'm doing is putting some bamboo rods down through to help hold up the tomato plants. And then I found this really cool Velcro type attachment stuff that you saw there to be able to attach them to the tomato plants. Okay, so now that we have this side pretty well planted, and this tomato plant is looking a little bit sad. I'm not quite sure how we're going to deal with him. We'll see how it looks in the next week or so. but it definitely doesn't look nearly as good as the ones on this side. And so this is the grape tomato plant, super, super healthy looking. I'm very happy about that. And then over here is another tomato plant as well. So we're going to go ahead now and plant this box right here and this box. Kylie, you want to show them what we're going to plant in these? Now we're going to plant with seed.
These are green beans that we're going to be planting, and then they grow up on this thing.
Having the girls start something from seed was one thing I did want to do in this process of having our patio garden, and green beans are a perfect thing to have start from seed, and they germinate really fast. You see sprouts pretty quickly with them. They're pretty successful, and we did plant a lot of extra. So in case you're wondering why we put so many in one box, I'm going to thin them out once we have stuff sprout, and yeah, they won't have as many plants as what we planted. But it was really fun for the girls to be able to each plant a handful of seeds, and I know they're going to keep their eye on those boxes and wait for sprouts to come up. We are also doing a little unit study on botany and what that means and different types of plants right now. And one of the charts that they have to fill out is the chart of a sprout. So how the seed sprouts. And if I can remember, I will leave the link for that little study in the description box below in case you homeschool as well, or you just simply want to focus on how plants grow with your children. I believe it's like 80 pages, and I want to say it was $4.99 to be able to download that, which is a super great deal. You can make as many copies as you want to for your children, and there is a lot involved. Now, I'm not doing every single page with mine because they are in kindergarten, first and second grade, but you could go into quite depths with the study. So I'm just kind of customizing it for us as we go through this whole process of growing different things. Now, I got these little hanging pots that we're putting our herbs into. They're gonna work on the trellises. We're gonna hang them on the green bean trellises since they're not sprouted yet. If they get in the way of the green beans though, I can easily move them to the railing of the deck and we can just move them around. But they have these little hooks that hook right on the back, and then they conveniently hook to whatever you want to hang them on. I'm thinking at some point I might even make some cute little labels with my Cricut to label which herbs are in which container. Now I'm moving on to my railing boxes. I was losing daylight at this point and it was just really trying to get everything in. And these I went all green. That was my idea for this summer. Since I did some pops of floral in the hanging baskets and the planters by the steps, I decided to go really green with this because I have my ferns over here. We're going to be putting an umbrella over the seating area at some point. So just having greenery, just being able to sit there in the seating area under the umbrella with a lot of greenery around us was kind of the idea I had in my mind. I know that when we're on vacation and we sit by a pool or we are sitting outside on a deck, it's just so beautiful to see palm trees and a lot of greenery around us. All right, just to catch you guys up on where we're at, here's the hanging baskets. We have the herbs over here. We've got more herbs over here. Got the other hanging basket and some flowers in the window that my husband gave me. This side, the planters. Then when we pan over here, We've got the ferns on either side along with the 4 railing planter boxes, and it's just all so green and lush. I am so excited to spend time just hanging out here, starting a fire on the fire table, just enjoying this outdoor space so much. One of my goals for the next little bit is to make some garden markers for all of this. So this one here is like a large, my hands are so dirty. This one is like a large tomato plant, so they're gonna get nice big red tomatoes. And then over here we've got some cucumbers. Actually, I think that these are my yellow squash, correction. And then here is some cucumbers, I believe, if I've got it right. I gotta look at the tags. These are our grape tomatoes. And then over here we have some dill, some cilantro, which actually I need to go through and take all of these little flowers off because I don't want to pull it back out of the dirt, but when it goes to flower, the cilantro no longer produces. So you want to make sure that it never goes to flower, and you just keep breaking those flowers off if you see them, and you will continue to have great cilantro. I'm just gonna cut it back just like that. Whoop. I think I got pretty much all of them. I can come out here with like a little shear scissors too. Now we'll produce some more cilantro. Here we've got dill. I'll need to cut that back a little bit, and then some parsley. I'm about to really soak everything down with the hose, so it will all get nice and watered through the night. So down in here, I've got this little plant. It's sitting there waiting for a pot because I thought I had pots for this, and I actually don't, but this is a vining plant that grows very quickly, and my goal, my dream is to have, there's one right there too, is to have these crawl up around this doorway. I just think this would be so precious and just really the chef's kiss on this little patio garden. So over here I have 2 mints you saw that we picked out at the greenhouse. So I went ahead and put the pineapple mint there and the berries and cream mint there. And then obviously our green beans are planted in here, so we'll have to wait for those to come up. Over here is the tomato plant I'm concerned about, but we'll come back and visit that again one of these videos soon. And then on this side we also have some zucchini and then another variety of cucumber. And my hanging plants are just beautiful. I am so excited to see them just come into full. I think this is probably the last year I'm gonna be able to use these cone-shaped planters. They just have had their day in the sun for sure, and I think this is the last I'm going to be able to use them. And then over here I went ahead and filled these planters and did the whole fill, spill, and thrill method. I did 2 fills on either side of the planters. I did them the exact same way. And a few of them are looking a little bit sad, but I know with some rain and water and some time in the sun, they're gonna have time to grow and revive a bit. Sometimes that happens till you get everything home from the greenhouse. I wanted to give everything a good soaking before the evening came on, and sure enough, the next morning everything was super perky after soaking it all down. I think once you do the whole transfer of taking things out of the greenhouse, they just need a good soaking and then some sunshine, and you see the leaves all start to pick their heads up and start to thrive in their new environment. thank you all so much for watching today. I did want to tell you that even with all of the spring rain that we've had recently, our Homry sofa has really held up well. The cushions have held up just fine to the weather and all of the rain, and I can't recommend their brand of outdoor furniture enough. So definitely check out the link for their sofa in the description box below and find many more things on their website. And let me know in the comments, are you working on a garden yourself this year? Are you doing a raised garden, a traditional in-ground garden? I'd love to hear from all of you, and I'll see you all in the next one.